everybody, welcome back to Card Curiosity, where we try to find the best possible ways to make a good return on your investment in the sports card world. And today we're going to do another rip it or skip it video where we take a look at a product and try to decide whether it's something that is worth spending money on. And this particular one that we're looking at today is going to be 2025 Bowman Chrome Baseball Sapphire Edition. And this is one that I always look forward to every year because the price is usually fairly good compared to some other baseball sapphire products, and it's a lot of fun to rip. So here's what the product looks like on the Topps website, just to give you an idea. You can see some of these cards. The sapphire, just the base cards look amazing, and of course you get colored like red, things like that. They've got the inserts, sapphire selections, and one autograph per box, which is nice. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Bowman Chrome was better than people expected, and so this is just going to be the Sapphire version of that. If you remember, the four metrics that we kind of look at to determine whether we want to buy this is first, the price. We want to make sure that the boxes or the cards can be acquired at a reasonable price considering what you get. Second is the checklist. We want to make sure that the players in there are players that we actually want and that it's not watered down with maybe low-level players or prospects that people don't want. Third would be the grading potential. We need to make sure that these cards have a decent chance of getting 10s if you send them to PSA. That's how you're really going to make some of this money back. And finally, we want to look at the desirability of the cards and make sure that long-term, is this going to be a card that people want to have, want to hold, and the value will stay fairly high, especially if it's a player that is top caliber. So that's what we're going to look at today. First, jumping into the price, Topps has said on their Twitter they dropped prices would be $350. They had a Montgomery Club pre-order about a week ago or so. And basically, if you pay for Montgomery Club, which is around, I forget, $100 to $200 per year to be a member, you get the chance to buy boxes of these early, one box for a handful of different releases. So we ordered one box of Montgomery Club Sapphire, and it was the same price, so $350. And so we just got notice that has been shipped, and the actual release date for this, when you guys can grab it on the website, is going to be October 15th, which should be tomorrow, if we get this video updated in time. So $350, it's the same price that we paid for Montgomery Club. I'm going to give this price, I mean, it's a little steep for sure, but compared to other Bowman Baseball Sapphire products, those have been in the $450 plus range. And so considering what you get, which if we looked here, I think it says I may not say it here, somewhere it's going to say that you get 3 or 4 parallels. Oh yeah, one autograph. Sorry, right here. One autograph and 3 parallels per box. You can oftentimes get more than 3. And so you're going to get some numbered cards, you're going to get one autograph. And so for $350, it's not too bad. We're going to give this a 3 out of 5 on our score here. And if it was below $300 a box, I could definitely give this a 4. So for what you get, price isn't too bad. The other thing to kind of note, if you don't buy this on the website on release day at 12 o'clock, try to beat the bots and get your hand on a couple boxes. These are selling for close to $700 on eBay already. So the market is there. You could very easily, if you get a box, sell it for almost double. Right now, there's going to be some demand for this, and so try to get it from the Topps website if you do. So next, let's jump into the checklist, and you can see, like some different Bowman products. You're going to have a lot of prospects, but you're also going to have quite a few rookies. So here's some of the cards to look at. Here's a rookie of Sasaki on the Sapphire Selections. I really like Sapphire Selections. They don't get a ton of love in the hobby for some reason, but I think they look really cool, especially the colored ones. And so I kind of try to buy Sapphire Selection cards afterwards when I can of players that I want. But 4 cards per pack, 8 packs per box, 10 boxes per case. They will likely not have cases on the website, but that's another story, or at least they'll sell out really fast. But one autograph, 3 parallels. So you have 100 current player cards, right? So veterans, rookies, things like that. Jacob Wilson, Bobby Witt. You'll get a lot of good names. So 100 players here is pretty good. and they will have some image variations as well of these guys, which is nice. So here's an image variation. So Wilson, Cruz, Sasaki, Wood, Matt Shaw. So, a lot of the rookies and bigger players. The other thing too, Marcelo Mayer, I think this is his first Sapphire rookie card, so there could be some demand there for him. If he has a better year next year, especially, this could be a good time to scoop up some of his cards. You also have 100 prospects on the base set, and these are going to be the same ones that you wanted to find in Bowman Chrome. So Gonzalez here is a big one. That'll be his first. Elian Pena with the Mets, that was a big one as well. And so anyone that you were kind of looking for there, Roman Anthony, it's not going to be his first, but any nice Sapphire card from Roman Anthony is going to sell right now. Cam Schlittler from the Yankees pitched incredible in the postseason. His cards might be some of the more expensive ones if you can find him. He has his first here. They're not rookies, even though he got his first right around the time he was called up. So the checklist, when you include that, again, you got some image variations down here as well from some of the bigger prospects. And then finally, the autograph side. Let's look at what you get from the autographs. There are 30 potential prospect autographs. That's a really nice list. It's not like 100. They cut it down to 30, and so there's going to be some that you definitely want. There's probably about five names that if you get their autograph, it will pay for your box, and quite a few others that will get you, half the cost of a box. This guy here with Cleveland is one that played really, really well this past year, but he's not getting a ton of hype yet. And so we're kind of looking at, I don't know how to say it, but Uniker Caceres. So forgive us for not saying that correctly, but that's who we're looking at when we buy our singles here right now. And let's see, Maury with the Athletics is another one whose cards are going pretty well. So there you go. That's not too bad. 30 autographs, and then the Sapphire Selection autographs. This is where I really, really hope to, if you can find a Roki or a Mayer, and let's see, Jackson Churia, that's interesting. Not a rookie, but that'd be a fun one to get as well. Those are the ones, when it comes to Sapphire Selection autographs, I'm really looking for rookies as opposed to prospect cards, because the prospect cards don't tend to hold up quite as well as their other main autographs. So overall, on the checklist, a bit long-winded there. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, just because primarily there's not a ton of great rookies. If you think about last year, you had Paul Skeens, all the Jacksons, Holiday, Churio, Merrill, Ellie was in this, and Junior Caminero. Like, the rookie class was just much, much more loaded last year than this year. If we had just as strong of a rookie class, then I could have easily have given this checklist a 4. The other thing, too, on the prospect side, there's not like one clear-cut prospect that's insane, like a Jesus Mate or Leo DeVry. Like last year had Leo, and he was clear-cut the beast of the product. And so because the players in here are not just quite as strong, I'm just going to give this checklist a 3 out of 5 here. So next, let's look at the gem rate and see whether we have a chance to get PSA 10s if we send these in. You look at Bowman Chrome Sapphire from 2024. Let's assume it's going to be similar to that. You're looking at right around 55% gem rate there on the base cards, 55% gem rate on the autographs, and same with the prospect cards, right at 54. And so that's above 50% is pretty good. You're going to have to look at these cards pretty carefully. There can be little like nicks and scratches on them, so you just want to be careful when you send them in. But if you do look them over and they look pretty good, I think there's a decent chance to do it. The Sapphire Selections always grade pretty well, the autographs and the regular ones. So we will try to grab some of these to send in a grade for sure. That'll be part of our strategy. So on the grading potential at 55%, and assuming it's going to be something similar, I'm going to give that a 3 out of 5. If it was at 60%, I would certainly give it a 4. If it was at 50 or below, we start looking at 2 or 1s. And so this isn't too bad. I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm hoping that that's about what we get here. Finally, we need to look at the desirability. Are these cards that people are going to want long term? So I'm just going to look at Paul Skeens. Skeens was in 2023 Bowman Draft, and we have his Sapphire cards here. And so I've pulled up his just his base draft PSA 10. That's at 165 here on the latest sale. Okay, his refractor PSA 10 is at 225, and you can see his Sapphire PSA 10 lasted 410 about a month ago. That's much, much higher than the refractor and things like that. If you compare it to his, again, I threw up his rookie cards. His rookie base card's at 70, and his refractor base rookie is at 150. So pretty clearly, people like the first logo better than the rookie, okay? And pretty clearly, when it comes to the base card non-autograph, people like the Sapphire better than these other two. And so there will be demand for Sapphire cards for a long time. And I think this is why we're going to give this a pretty good score. Just before we release that, I'll look at the autographs as well. And so here we have base autograph PSA 10, 1600. Sapphire PSA 10 autograph, or I'm sorry, that's not Sapphire, refractor. So the refractor PSA 10 autograph is at 3100. The Sapphire PSA 10 autograph is at 2100. Now, this has not sold in 3-4 months. And so it could be that if we did sell one of these, it might be up here with the refractors. It's very possible because you'll see the base autograph is at 850 versus the refractor at 600 and the plain one there at 530 on the base. In fact, I bet the refractor is probably more in the line of $800 and the Sapphire is probably closer to $1,000 if they were auctioned off here today. So again, I think pretty strong evidence that the Sapphire version of a prospect card is very, very highly sought after. We are going to give the Desirability here a 5 of 5, and that's going to give us a total score of 3 for price, 3 for checklist, 3 for grading potential, and 5 for desirability. We're at 14 out of 20, which is one of the better scores that we've had. Now, if you just buy one box, you have a chance to get nothing. You know, you can get a bad box. There can be 32 cards in there, and they all might stink and not be the names that you want. But there's also a pretty decent chance that, you know, like a Cam Schlittler, the pitcher for the Yankees, his Sapphire autographs, I'm guessing, would be in the $400 or $500 range right off the bat. And, you know, if you PSA 10 one of his cards, it might not be at $410, but I could see it being $200 to $300 at a PSA 10 as well. And so as long as you get a handful of cards and you can grade a couple of them, I think there's a decent chance that you can make back your $350. But it is very possible that you get skunked as well. We know what it's like to rip boxes, so you do have to be careful. So that said, I really enjoy this product. We will be trying to grab as many as we can tomorrow and rip some, maybe flip some. Again, you can buy a box and sell it for almost double, almost immediately. And, you know, that's something to definitely think about. This is one of the more fun products, I think, to open up. And so we plan to open a few with our boys if we can and have some fun that way. So hope you enjoyed this. Let us know if you plan to rip any of this. And until next time, stay curious.